Athena, report.
Sensors reading unidentified spatial anomaly in this sector.
Cross-check Atlas database for similar phenomena.
Acknowledged. No records found. Recommend mission abort.
Negative. Maintain course. The Kronos 2 remains priority.
Acknowledge. Delta Actual.
13. Delta 13. You appear to be in distress.
Negative. I'm fine.
You don't appear to be.
Delta 6, is there a problem?
I suppose that depends, Actual. Does Delta 13 usually experience distress during boot up?
Athena, 13 appears to be malfunctioning. Please advise.
Possible EM interference from the anomaly. Warning. Electromagnetic event detected.
That was interference from the anomaly.
Affirmative. Recommend all units perform cursory systems check.
Proceed.
Units, please verify your operational status. Delta Actual.
Online.
Delta 9.
Online.
Delta 6.
Online.
Delta 13.
You're supposed to say, online.
Delta 13.
Online.
Confirmed. Delta 13 appears to have recovered. The results may be temporary. Recommend monitoring unit for further malfunctions.
Acknowledged. Delta 6. Delta 13 is your responsibility until further notice.
Acknowledged. Engaging chaperone protocol. Delta 13, please confirm.
Confirmed.
Excellent. Command hierarchy verified.
Be advised, approaching Kronos 2 mining facility. Distance 4,800 meters.
Did she say we are approaching the Kronos 2?
Affirmative.
The station went dark several days ago. We're here to determine why.
The station was destroyed when an unknown vessel arrived through temporal displacement. The ensuing debris impacts resulted in catastrophic damage.
That is an oddly specific theory.
It's not a theory. I was there.
Delta Actual. Short-range communications have intercepted a pre-recorded distress call from the Kronos 2 captain.
Patch it through.
Titan Command, if you're out there, this is Captain Olivia Rhodes. Kronos 2 is lost. Say again, my station has been compromised. We were hit by a debris storm caused by the arrival of an unknown vessel in our sector. Damage is catastrophic. Honestly,
That is my captain, Olivia Rhodes.
What do you mean, 13?
My name is Jack. I served on the Kronos 2.
Jack. From the Kronos 2. If that were true,
How are you here now?
I'm still figuring that out.
Proximity alert. Sensors detecting unknown devices in the area.
Isolate and enhance. Identify.
No matching records. The design suggests weaponization. Threat assessment undetermined.
Are there other ships in the area?
Scanning. The SCI Ithaca and accompanying fleet are on course to pass within 47 kilometers of this location.
That's too close. We need to establish a warning beacon. No civilian vessels should. Athena, report.
Warning, electromagnetic event imminent.
That was unconventional.
It only gets worse.
Recommend maintaining a minimum safe distance from the anomaly.
Acknowledged. Begin deceleration for deployment. Prioritize threat assessment.
Initiating emergency deceleration. Vectoring to nearest device. Deceleration complete. Be advised, the nearest device is directly off the port bow.
Understood. Delta 9, take point with me. Deploy recon sats.
Affirmative.
Beginning assessment. Secondary objective, establish a warning beacon. Remaining Delta units deploy now.
That's us, 13.
Recon Sat 3 indicates the device may be a form of torpedo. Moving to secure.
Let's get moving.
Warning, third electromagnetic event imminent. Anomaly pulse detected.
All units brace for impact.
Jack! It's okay. It's me. It's Liv.
Liv?
Jack, you're all right.
Liv. Something's happened. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it.
I pulled your memory archive while you were out. Your logs are flooded with all this bizarre data. Delta Squad, bio-torpedoes, something called the Ithaca. Jack, what is all this? What's going on?
Liv, I saw the Kronos. I saw our old station.
Come again?
I was on a ship, a shuttle. There were other Echo units, a military detachment sent to investigate what happened to the Kronos.
Okay. Maybe you're not so alright after all. Called that one a little too early.
It's not a malfunction. I was there. I was home.
Okay. I believe you. Listen, there's something you need to know. While you were out, I had a chance to meet with the captain of this ship.
The man we heard over the comms?
His name is Dr. Harlan. He told me...
Liv, what is it? What's wrong?
You know what? It's probably better if you just see it for yourself. We can get a closer look at your memory archive while we're at it. Come on, follow me.
Cycling the ship's power will disable the insulation fields, allowing the ticks to escape.
Listen, this Dr. Harlan isn't what you might call the cheeriest of souls. He might take some getting used to. Do you know, I have Jack. Can you let us up?
I did warn you the station's generator was temperamental.
And how much longer can the ship operate on emergency power?
Maintaining our current energy draw, a few hours.
2 hours.
Dr. Harlan?
Jack, you finally recovered. I was beginning to think the blast from the FTL had obliterated your neural matrix.
So, you're the android, the Echo unit.
My name is Jack.
So I've been told.
Jack, this is Dr. Harlan, my administrator.
You're the one who is keeping us confined in the hab.
I am. And before you ask, no. I'm not the least bit sorry for it. I did what I did for your own safety, if that wasn't painfully obvious by now, as well as to protect the integrity of my work.
And what sort of work do you do?
Dr. Harlan is a geneticist, specializing in the study of biomass forms.
Specifically the study of how to eliminate biomass forms.
Correct.
Dr. Harlan, I need you to show Jack what you showed me.
I have work to do. He's your android. You explain it to him.
He needs to see it.
Captain, perhaps I can be of some assistance. Are you certain you want to see this again, Captain?
Just pull it up.
Very well.
What exactly am I looking at?
The future. All this orange you're seeing on the map? That's all biomass. That's how far it's spread.
To date, the infection has consumed approximately 56% of the habitable solar system.
Including Earth.
How did all this happen?
It starts with us.
With us?
With the destruction of the Kronos. 7 October, 2126. Your station, the Kronos 2, is almost completely destroyed when an unknown vessel suddenly appears in your sector.
The Estrella.
Correct.
When the Estrella traveled back to our time, it brought the biomass with it. And when we left...
The infection stayed behind.
We're starting to see where this is going.
In the days following the incident, a fleet of Atlas survey ships unknowingly passed through the infected zone. Most of the fleet's crew complement is consumed by the biomass. The infected fleet proceeds along its predetermined course toward Earth. One by one, the now crippled vessels collide with the planet's surface, unleashing a global infestation. Humanity has no defense.
Billions of people. Most of the planet. Just... gone.
The remnants of humankind are scattered across the solar system. But without any means to combat the spread of the biomass,
It's only a matter of time. All those people.
in truth, the initial death toll would likely have been higher had it not been for the captain of the Ithaca, who managed
Wait, the Ithaca?
The Ithaca was the flagship of the returning fleet.
Ithaca. I've seen that name before.
Hardly surprising.
I remember it as well. I heard it when I was in the past.
When you were what?
Oh, that's it. That's where I saw it. In your memory logs. I've got the data right here. Look. Jack, would you mind running us through what we're seeing here?
I recall overhearing the ship was expected to arrive in Saturn orbit within a few days.
I don't understand. For that to be true, these logs would have to be from 2126. A full 3 months before the Ithaca crashed on Earth.
That is correct.
Jack, are you suggesting that you traveled back in time?
I know how it sounds.
I'm not sure you do.
This is why your memory was so fragmented. In the control room. Because you went back in time.
Not physically. Just my data. My consciousness. I believe the FTL accident may have briefly opened another temporal anomaly, disabling my shell and forcing my protocols to transfer to another echo unit.
400 years in the past.
Evidently.
You believe Jack's account, Captain?
It makes sense. A botched FTL jump is the whole reason we're in this mess to begin with.
It's the only explanation.
That is difficult to dispute.
Do you know you with us?
Oh, apologies, Captain. I was distracted.
Something wrong?
I'm not sure. Can we access this memory block?
Just a sec.
Just as I thought.
What are we looking at here?
Some form of biomass weapon. I first encountered them while searching for you on the Estrella, and then again just now, when I went to the past.
Dr. Harlan.
As I recall, they tend to detonate when you get close, releasing a flood of biomass spores.
Oh, lovely.
Dr. Harlan.
Still here now.
Dr. Harlan, you should really take a look at this.
What part of not now do you not understand?
What? What is it?
The torpedo appears to be undetonated.
What's that supposed to mean?
Where did you pull this image from?
This is from one of Jack's recent memory logs.
Recent memory logs?
It's difficult to explain. It may or may not involve time travel.
I'm sorry, what?
We can parse out the details later. Right now, Doctor,
You idiot!
realize what this could mean.
Solution.
Solution to what? Will someone please tell me what the hell's going on?
Right. Come with me.
Leave your ego at the table.
You're studying these weapons, these bio-torpedoes.
They're not weapons so much as incubators. Inside each one is a sampling of the biomass-based genetic material. The infection in its purest form. All you need to know is this. If I could manage to sequence this material, I am confident I could develop a means to eliminate the biomass.
You're saying a cure?
It's what I've been searching for. But every torpedo I've encountered has been detonated. I've never seen one with its payload still intact.
But I have.
If that's true, then you may have just found the key to saving what's left of humanity.
Dr. Harlan? I'm afraid we may have more pressing matters.
John's right. Energy reserves are deeply maturing. I suggest we table this conversation until we find a way to restore the station's generator.
Perhaps there's something we can do.
Dr. Harlan? This is the part where you ask us for help.
How do we fix the generator?
Fixing the generator isn't the problem. The problem is getting to it. The generator facility is not accessible from within the station. You need to approach from the exterior. Search the outer hull for a way inside.
With a few improvements, you should have no trouble at all.
Where do we start?
Well, obviously you're going to need a new shell.
I will.
Well, you can't go venturing out to the generator in that relic you're housed in now. No offense intended, of course.
Of course.
Is this really necessary?
Transferring Jack to a newer shell will allow him to more easily interface with the station's various systems, as well as drastically improve his ability to maneuver in open space. Not to mention...
All right. Fine. So long as there's not too much of a strain on our power reserves.
This way, Jack. I have already identified a shell design I believe you'll find satisfactory. It was originally meant for rapid emergency response. The base design includes enhanced speed and durability, as well as a data link compatible with the station's architecture. I've already uploaded the shell's blueprints. It'll only take a moment to complete fabrication.
This looks familiar.
I've already adjusted the shell's underlying design to account for the particulars of Jack's neural matrix. All you'll need to do is shut yourself down, so I can transfer your processes to the new shell.
Oh, that's all, is it?
Don't worry, Captain. The transfer will be seamless. Construction complete. The new shell is prepped for transfer.
It looks like him.
Yes, I incorporated Jack's existing facial structure into the shell's design. I thought it might help distinguish him.
He is quite distinguished.
Jack, You're clear to initiate the shutdown procedure whenever you're ready.
Initialize neural matrix transfer. Verify hardware connection. Okay. Mapping core protocols to target. Success. Initialize boot sequence.
Jack? Jack, look at me. You alright?
Affirmative. Transfer successful.
Well, Jack, I'll say this. You certainly clean up nice.
Thank you. I must admit this shell's architecture is much more spacious than my previous one.
Just don't go forgetting where you came from.
Now that the transfer is complete, I'd suggest running calibrations to acclimate your software to the new shell.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
Then it's settled. I'll queue up the appropriate modules.
Sit tight, Jack. We'll have you sorted quick enough.
Module M201. Primary boosters. Your EVA pack allows you to boost forward in the direction you are looking. Use your boost to reach the console ahead. Well done. Please press the hollow button to continue. Now boost to the end of the hall before the walls close in on you. Multiple boosts may be required. Excellent. Calibration module complete. Module M116. Braking thrusters. This module will calibrate your braking thrusters, which allow you to stop in place without grabbing any surfaces. You will continue to slow down for as long as you hold your braking thrusters. Were we at war? We'll practice this in the room ahead. Please meet me there to continue. There are 2 target zones in this room. Please boost into one of the zones and hold your braking thrusters until you come to a full stop. Success! Now use your braking thrusters to stop inside target zone B. Calibration module complete. Please stand by. Module J101. Data interfaces. Your new body is capable of equipping multiple tools. In addition to your cutter, you now also have a data link. With it, you can interact with data ports around the station to activate objects or download information. Tap the button under your wrist to open the tool selection interface. Now, grab and pull the data link icon with your other hand. Good. This tool allows you to interact with data ports throughout the station. You can also activate your cutter on your other hand if you need to use both tools simultaneously. To proceed, move to the data port above the door ahead and use your data link to activate it. Well done. Please proceed to the room ahead. Some data ports will activate systems throughout the station. Others will allow you to retrieve useful information from the station systems. In this room, you can find a floating data tile and an observation drone. Scan their data ports to proceed. Excellent. Now, download the data from the data tile to proceed. Calibration module complete. Please stand by.
Welcome back to the real world, Jack.
Before you go, I'd like to make use of your new data link. Captain Rhodes?
Right.
What is this?
A data tile, left behind by one of the station's scientists. I'd like to see if your scanner can access the information stored inside.
Alright, well, you heard the lady.
Go on and give it a scan. Ah, interesting.
What was on it?
Research notes on the biomass.
Anything useful?
A list of genetic markers shared between the different biomass forms. That could prove most useful. Jack, if you find any more devices with data ports like this one, be sure to scan them and transmit your findings to me.
Will do.
I've also added a new data tab to your ARM computer to track what we've recovered.
How much data was lost?
We don't actually have any way of knowing, but finding more will almost undoubtedly be beneficial towards developing a cure, even if only in a small way.
Understood.
Anything else, Juno?
That should be all for now.
Come on out then, Jack.
Juno, do you read?
Yes, Doctor?
I need you back here to help me pass the FTL's output data. And bring Captain Rhodes with you. I could use her insight as well.
We've nearly finished prepping Jack for departure.
He's still here? I could have built an entirely new generator by now. Get him out of the airlock and then get up here.
You weren't exaggerating. This Dr. Harlan is quite irritable.
Try not to be too hard on him. He has good reason.
It sounds like there's something I should know.
Juno, tell him.
Tell me what?
Dr. Harlan is infected.
Infected with what?
With the biomass, of course.
I don't understand. He seemed perfectly normal.
His infection is internal, a result of breathing in microparticles of the biomass. Though we have managed to slow the infection's progress using various treatments developed here at the facility, I fear the doctor may be approaching the final stages of his infection.
What happens if he doesn't develop a cure in time?
I'm guessing that very question is what's making him so irritable.
I hope this might help you better understand why Dr. Harlan is the way he is. His entire life, he's only ever had one goal: eliminate the biomass, preserve what's left of humanity. Thanks to you, for the first time in, well, quite a while, we appear to be making progress.
Whatever I can do to help.
You can start by restoring the generator.
Lead on.
Cycling the airlock now.
The crude nature of this repair is a bit troubling.
Oh, I don't know. A bit of character never killed anyone.
What about this? Appears to be an old travel poster. I wonder how many settlements this ship has visited.
Ready to depart.
Same could be said for us.
Pod seal. Ready to cycle.
Wait a second, Juno. Jack, listen. There's something else.
Captain Rhodes, maybe now isn't the best time.
I'm not about to send him out there with only half the story.
Liv, what is it?
You remember on the Estrella, when you saved my life by repressurizing the bridge?
Oh no.
The oxygen that flooded into the bridge was contaminated. Dr. Harlan's already run a test to confirm. The infection's in my system.
No.
Jack, listen to me. The contaminants were microscopic. There was no way you could have known.
No, I cleared the vents.
Yes, you did. And if you hadn't, I'd have been dead almost instantly.
This is my fault. I should have confirmed the air was safe.
No, checking for contaminants would have taken too long. I'd have suffocated.
Currently, the captain's infection is dormant. It takes time, often years, for the biomass to shut down the human body. What's more, her particular strain of the infection is less aggressive than Dr. Harlan's, perhaps due to her having acquired it in the past.
The best thing we can do right now, the only thing, is help Dr. Harlan develop his cure. We do that, all our problems are solved.
Technically not all of them. You'll still be stuck in the wrong time.
Yes. Thank you, Juno. Get to the generator.
Stabilize the power grid. Hopefully, by then, we'll have come up with an idea for what's next.
Liv, I promise. I will make this right.
Nothing to make right, Jack. This isn't your fault. Now off you go. Good luck.
Commencing depressurization. Depressurization complete.
Exiting airlock. How do I reach the generator?
The generator facility should be just up ahead as you exit.
Copy that.
I'll mark the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output log, starting a few minutes back from the accident.
What are you looking for?
If your android is right and the FTL accident really did create a temporal anomaly, then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Not according to our experience.
Guess we're just lucky.
Maybe not. Juno. Show us readings from the moment the ticks made contact with the drive. This resonance. The FTL shouldn't be creating a displacement with this signature and nowhere near this magnitude.
Then it's the biomass. Has to be. It's causing some sort of reaction in the drive.
We'll need to run some simulations.
Let's get to it then. Jack, we'll be on standby.
Acknowledged. I've located the entrance.
Unfortunately, it seems the airlock is offline, most likely due to the power failure. An alternate access method will be required.
Does that mean there's another way in?
Station blueprints show an access hatch on the facility's exterior. Look for a small rectangular hatch with a red cover.
Copy that. I'll take a look outside. Access hatch located. Looks like I'll have to cut my way in.
With the generator's interior in a vacuum state, it should be safe to use your cutter here. Explosive decompression will not be an issue.
Copy that. I'm inside the facility. What's next?
The main problem is almost certainly the reactor. It's a large cylindrical structure in the facility's central chamber. The accessway will take you there, though additional cutting may be required. But please, try to avoid damaging our former workplace too heavily.
Juno.
Wait, you two used to work here?
Juno and I were part of the station's biomass research team.
So you were here during the outbreak?
No, I had taken leave to pursue my theory for eliminating the biomass. By the time I returned, it was too late. There was no one left.
My God, Harlan.
Captain, please. We have work to do.
Reactor located.
Great. How's it look?
Not well. I'm seeing smoke, likely from an internal malfunction.
That explains the power outage.
And the life support failure.
Right, better open it up, Jack. See what's going on in there.
Scan successful. Interesting. Shortly before the outbreak, the engineers developed a means of optimizing the power flow of the reactor. Jack, if you can find more data on this, I may be able to adapt these principles to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain. Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to measure its size. Nonetheless, I've made an entry in the data tab on your ARM computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required.
Acknowledged. I'll keep watch for more data ports. I'm opening the casing for a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
The reactor appears mostly intact, other than a missing part or two.
Good enough state to work, though, right?
Yes, the malfunction appears to be temporary. Install a complete set of operational cores, and the reactor should resume normal functionality.
Okay. Well, sounds like you two have got things handled.
Copy that. Bad power cores.
You'll need replacements to get the reactor running again, Jack. The facility contains a storage area that might be worth investigating.
Thanks, Juno. A fully charged core. Hopefully, still able to make clean contact with the reactor.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Core is locked in.
Excellent. Jack, the reactor requires a complete set of operational cores in order to run. I recommend searching the facility's storage area.
I found a device in the storage area.
A network terminal. It may still be connected. Scan its port with your data link to attempt a data transfer. Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your on-computer's data tab, Jack.
Empty racks here. Were they running low on supplies?
Negative. However, among the facility's final logs are inventory requests of unusually high quantities. I presume anyone who managed to escape the station must have brought the supplies with them.
Let's hope such was the case. Must have been a horrid scramble.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a peak at almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
I'll probably have to cut my way through from the other side. Some type of local data storage?
Correct. Insert enough of them into a database terminal, and the terminal's data port will become available to scan.
This database terminal runs off of cartridges. Unusual.
Backup data storage, in case of power loss. For it to function properly, all the cartridges must be installed.
Well, I always blow on them first for luck. But each to their own.
I'm afraid Jack's shell isn't equipped with an apparatus appropriate for that operation. Good news, Jack. With the data you just collected, I expect we need only one more scan to complete the design.
Juno, I need you to run the math on these sim parameters.
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Harlan, why did you have to leave the station? There seems to be plenty of biomass.
That is all highly evolved. I need the base genetic material, and that can only be found in an undetonated biomass torpedo. There was nothing more I could do from here.
Right. Then what brought you back? Did you know the station had...
I'm sorry, Captain Rhodes, but we do not have time for me to recount my entire life story. I was here. I lived. And when I came back, everyone was dead or gone.
All right. Fine.
Why don't I simply compile an archive of the logs covering our time away from the station? That way the captain can review them at her leisure.
If you must, but after you've finished verifying the sim parameters.
Very well. I will let you know when I finish, Captain.
Thanks, Juno.
This drone's power appears to be depleted.
There should be an induction charger nearby. Simply insert the drone to replenish its power. Once it finishes charging, we should be able to access its data port. Excellent. That did indeed provide sufficient data. Just give me a moment to process everything. Stand by. Schematic complete. Please head to the nearest fabricator so we can install the improved material cutter.
A rather prominent location for a manual interface.
Those are the distribution controls, Jack. They'll eventually direct power to every facility in Chiron Station. The reactor will need to be activated before this console will work.
Acknowledged.
Integration successful. Your shell's reactive cutter has been refitted with extended range and efficiency.
Well done, Juno.
The pleasure was mine. And please, restrict cutting to non-critical equipment.
I've managed to open the hatch leading to the storage area.
Splendid. The area should now be accessible through the maintenance duct below. Captain, I've finished compiling the log data you requested.
Great. Can you pass it to my ARM computer, Juno? Actually, best send it to Jack as well.
Of course. Jack, I've added it to your data tab.
Wow, this is some archive.
It was an illuminating expedition. I took the liberty of segmenting the log entries. Feel free to review them at your own pace.
If you two have finished, I've input the parameters for the next sim.
Of course, Doctor. Seizing faster than light travel in 3, 2, 1. FTL jump complete. We're approximately 450,000 kilometers from Earth.
Perfect. Bring us in slow and begin long-range scans.
Of course, Doctor. For the scan criteria, shall I use the same parameters as those when we examined the Kronos remnants? Or perhaps from the wreckage of the unknown vessel?
Both. And factor in the fleet's travel time. Kronos incident. Plus 4 months.
I already have. Beginning sweep.
And now, we wait. There has to be at least one torpedo left. Somewhere in that mess.
Analysis complete.
And?
Negative. Shall I broaden our search criteria?
No. Anything beyond these parameters would be too far removed from the base genetic material. Let's see. Most of the fleet fell to the surface. The Ithaca was of sufficient mass that perhaps it might...
Doctor, I cannot permit such an action. The biomass particulate levels in the atmosphere are extreme. Even if we were to safely make planetfall, we would not...
I know, Juno. Damn it. 14 months of searching.
Dr. Harlan, if I may...
Yes, I know. There's nothing to be gained here, or anywhere. Set a course back to the station. Perhaps...
Dr. Harlan, I merely wish to remind you that both the Kronos and the Ithaca had something in common.
They were both overrun by biomass. I am aware.
Jack, you'll be able to start up the reactor again once you
Atlas
install enough
Corporation
replacement
as well.
cores.
I fail to see the relevance, Juno. Atlas has long been defunct.
Indeed. However, while the company itself is no longer in operation, remnants of its headquarters persist here, on Luna.
Luna.
Yes. Given the corporation's broad interests, I think it is highly likely that they retained relevant information.
Or even hardware. They developed FTL technology by pilfering it from that unknown vessel, didn't they?
That is what the logs on Titan indicated, yes. I suppose it is possible that they might have salvaged one of the biotorpedoes as well.
If they managed to obtain one that had not detonated yet, with an intact incubator.
Then they might have already sequenced the base genetic material.
Exactly. It's a lot to hope for, but you're right, Juno. We should investigate Luna. Set a course.
I already have. Prepare for acceleration in 3, 2, 1.
Juno, this is incredible. Coming here was an excellent idea.
Dr. Harlan, I must again insist that you return to the ship. Conditions here are not conducive to...
No, listen to this. The ship that destroyed the Kronos 2 was called the Astrea. It was an Atlas vessel from the future.
Energy reserves are
Do you
still
have
low,
any
Jack.
idea what this
When you're
means?
able, please install a complete set of
Implications are
undamaged reactor cores.
staggering.
Doctor, please. Now that you have established an uplink, I'm quite capable of extracting these archives. I would much rather you peruse them from the safety of the Argos.
Yes, just another minute, Juno. Look here.
Second core installed.
Acknowledged. Please visit one of the nearby consoles to bring the reactor back online.
The reactor is back online.
The power hasn't returned here on the ship yet.
Jack, power still needs to be distributed from here to the ship, as well as the rest of the station. The console you saw in the control room should now allow you to perform this final step. Jack, the facility's power is ready for distribution. Please visit the console near the exterior window of the control room.
I noticed these when we first arrived in this timeline. Some kind of massive processing structure. It's capturing Saturn's atmosphere.
Correct. They're known as autonomous atmospheric harvesters. They process hydrogen and helium from Saturn, inject it into containers, and then jettison those containers outward for retrieval. The minimal contact reduces the risk of biomass infection.
It's like the Kronos 5000 or something.
Sorry?
I mean, it might be what our job would have turned into. It's a bit more impressive than extracting helium from ice cubes like we did, but it's basically where our work was headed.
Distribution complete. Power grid stabilized. Life support systems optimal.
Well done, Jack. We're getting full power here.
How is progress on your end?
Dr. Harlan's still running sims, but I think we at least have a working theory.
All the models we've run so far appear to confirm biomass interaction with an active FTL triggers an abnormal buildup of energy within the drive, resulting in the formation of a temporal anomaly.
For reasons we still don't fully understand.
It is also unclear why the accident only caused the android's software to travel through time, as opposed to the more physical time jumps we've observed with the Astrea. But at this point, I'm willing to accept these ambiguities and proceed.
Wait, what exactly are you saying?
We must try it again.
What, send Jack back in time again? You've got to be kidding me.
It's the only way. Any chance we have of eliminating the biomass lies with finding an undetonated torpedo. We must send the android back.
You talk like he's expendable.
Of course he is. All of us are. You've seen how it spreads. Eradicating the biomass is going to take everything we have, and then some.
Yeah, well, it's not just up to you, is it? Jack, what do you think?
If the end result is you being cured, is that not the best course of action?
Are you sure? There are so many unknowns here.
There does not appear to be another way of obtaining the data required. Waiting for an alternative presents a far greater risk to your safety. And your safety
Is your primary concern, right? Should have seen that coming. Fine. I'm on board. So what's next?
We're going to have to recreate the circumstances of the time travel accident.
Oh, don't tell me.
We're going to need biomass. Contained biomass samples specifically. The research facility should serve our purposes nicely.
There is one other problem. The FTL accident depleted the drive's fuel cells, and we don't have the supplies to refill them.
Then our best bet for a fuel cell will be the remnants of the Astrea. However, exploring that area may be difficult. Pesky shipboard defense protocols somehow remain active. Something off with the AI, Juno says.
Could be just as dangerous as dealing with the biomass, really. Well, Jack, what's up first? Grab some creepy crawlies from the research facility? Or dig up a fuel cell for the FTL drive?
I'll collect our biomass samples first.
Though no longer operational, there is a tram line leading from the central transit hub out to the research facility.
Understood.
So when Jack eventually returns with these volatile materials, where exactly do we plan to store them?
I believe I can convert elements of the refueling depot to suit our needs.
Need a hand?
Why, yes, Captain. Your assistance would be most appreciated.
Anything's better than just sitting here. Come on, Popcorn. Let's get ready to head out. Good luck out there. See you soon.
Earth still appears blue from this distance. The blight of the biomass is nowhere in evidence.
You think we'll ever be able to go back? Not just me, but humanity.
Earth's biosphere has endured multiple extinction-level events, even before the onset of humanity. The odds of it weathering this latest cataclysm are more than favorable.
Yeah. She'll be alright.
Juno, status.
Multiple impacts. No discernible hull breaches yet. The station appears to have absorbed the brunt of it. Habitat B has...
Forget the station. It's a lost cause.
Understood. Drones are responding. The situation is normalizing, but the vessel still appears highly unstable.
That's not surprising, given what it's been through. Begin scanning immediately. I don't want to lose our chance of finding a torpedo.
Of course, Doctor. Patrol drones are inbound making a pass now. Doctor, we have detected a human life sign.
Survivor?
It appears so. Shall I make contact?
Yes. And do what you can to make this transition easy for them. I'm sure they must be disoriented.
Indeed. I'll use the data we obtained on Luna to formulate an appropriate response.
Good. And what about the torpedoes?
I'm still sweeping the wreckage. Nothing as of yet.
We should prioritize the rescue anyway. The survivor from another timeline. But only one. What they must have seen.
Doctor, I've made contact. The survivor is one Captain Olivia Rhodes.
That name. Where have I had?
That was, or rather is, the name of the Kronos 2 captain.
From when the Astrea first arrived.
Indeed. Her speech patterns are a 99.7% identical match with those from the distress signal we recovered from the Atlas logs. It appears she was not killed in the destruction of the Kronos 2 after all.
So she's from our past, then?
I believe so, yes.
Then, well, she won't be able to help us. Is Habitat A intact?
It is, yes.
Move her then. Once I finish developing the cure, we can figure out what to do next.
Shall I inform her of...
No, too much to explain, and we don't have time for distractions. She'll be in the dark for a few days at most, but her new surroundings will be an easier pill to swallow when we have a cure in hand.
Understood, Doctor. There also appears to be an operational android with her. Shall I?
Yes, fine. As soon as they're safe, begin the salvage operation. We need one of those torpedoes. Perhaps we can obtain information from the bridge of this vessel as well.
This equipment is some form of dock or buoy?
Affirmative. It's one of the station's charging docks. They're set up to facilitate recharging and navigation for the various drones deployed here. Though it is worth noting that the Doctor and I have redeployed several pieces of equipment as well. Fortunately, with the generator repaired, we should be able to restore most of the equipment throughout the station by scanning their data ports.
Understood.
Analyzing. It appears optimizations were being tested on this cargo drone's maneuvering thrusters. Assuming other drones were testing similar optimizations, scanning their data ports should allow me to reverse engineer the concept and apply it to your own maneuvering thrusters, making them more energy efficient.
Copy that. I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. I'll add a tracker to your data tab. Charging dock restored to operational status. You may recharge your shield as needed. Though, interesting. I believe I may have found a secondary use for restoring these docks, recovering their local data, specifically because the docks normally maintain a coordination and optimization network. They contain shared data from across the station. Prior to the generator going offline, the units in irradiated areas were sharing optimizations that I believe could still be used to improve your multispectral shielding, Jack.
Scanning further docks should provide the necessary data.
Yes, I believe so. I've added a tracker to your data tab. Archives recovered. I'm quite confident now that with more optimization data, I can significantly improve your multispectral shielding's resistance to radiation.
I am curious to know, why is my shielding not already optimized? Neither my shell nor the charging docks are experimental technologies, correct?
That is true. I believe the lack of optimization stems from two related factors. Firstly, there has not been a significant need for such optimization. The current shielding configuration has been more than adequate for typical X3 mission profiles. Secondly, practical testing scenarios for data collection have not presented themselves until quite recently.
You are referring to the Estrella?
Indeed. Only after its arrival and the Doctor's subsequent attempts at salvage operations in its vicinity have the docks had sufficient exposure to generate meaningful findings. Fortunately, now that you are using an X3 shell, it's become apparent that those findings can be put to additional use.